From 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. on Thursday, May 3rd, polls will open in many boroughs and districts to elect councillors who will make the decisions that impact our lives. In Tandridge, a third of councillors will be elected this year, and we have listed all the candidates by ward so you can easily compare those standing in your area. We approached each of them to ask what they will do for you if elected. Votes are set to be counted from 10 p.m. at the Stafford School's Sports Hall, with the results likely to be announced just after midnight on Friday, May 4th morning. Tandridge District Council has 42 councillors who are elected in thirds, which means 14 seats are contested this time. Parties need 22 seats to control the council, while currently the political balance is 30 Conservatives, 6 Liberal Democrats, 4 Oxted. This means the Conservatives need to lose 9 seats to lose their overall council majority, and the Liberal Democrats, their current closest rivals, will need to win 13 seats from the Tories to become the biggest party. Tandridge District Council offices in Oxted, Surrey. Image, Stuart Douglas. Instant images. Bletchingley and Nutfield. Linda Bahari. 8 Labour. I have lived in Bletchingley for 17 years, initially with my late mother, for whom I was the main carer. With the help of the social care budget, I was able to continue to work in local government while caring for my mother. Now, due to my own disability, I work from home, running my own accounting company. Given this experience, I fully appreciate the effects the cuts made by Tandridge District Council have had on social care provision. For more than 3 years I have been a parish councillor for Bletchingley. Through this work I have helped to manage the village hall and raise the issue of A25 air pollution with Tandridge District Council. In addition, Nutfield and Bletchingley Parish Council has installed an air quality monitor for quarry pollution. I have also been involved in raising money for the Grange Meadow sports and recreational space. Money raised so far has provided the adult gym, more lighting and additional CCTV. I am involved in the campaign to raise £150,000 to replace the driveway and car park. In my capacity as a parish councillor, I am very conscious of the pressure on local infrastructure, especially in the Nutfield area where residents have long distances to travel to school and the doctors, and where public transport is virtually non-existent. Tony Elias. Conservative. Tony Elias has lived in Bletchingley for more than 30 years. He has represented Bletchingley. He has given evidence at the last public inquiry to this effect. Tony is active locally with various charities, including the Orpheus Centre, where he has been a trustee since inception 20 years ago. As a chartered accountant working from home, he has the time to devote to represent his ward. If re-elected, he promises to continue to represent all residents, regardless of their politics. Richard Fowler, Liberal Democrat. No biography supplied. Helena Windsor. UKIP. Nutfield is threatened with a town-sized development on Red Hill Aerodrome, euphemistically dubbed Garden Village. The south of Bletchingley would be blighted by both the other two potential sites, all greenbelt, in the current local plan strategy, approved by all Conservative and Liberal Democrat councillors. If elected, I will fight to protect our greenbelt from this excessive development, working with residents and fellow councillors to deliver local housing need without turning our greenbelt into urban sprawl. I aim to improve already excellent recycling rates and reduce rural littering, especially plastic, which can harm wildlife. Bristow, Horn and Outwood. Peter Bond. Conservative. Peter is the current district councillor for the ward, a long-term resident of Smallfield, has been actively involved in the community, and is widely respected. Following a career as the marketing manager for a global infrastructure company, he is now a part-time lecturer on temporary work safety procedures. He regularly attends the Bristow and Outwood Parish Council meetings and works closely with them. As a member of the Tandridge Planning Committee, chairman of Planning Policy, and of the Community Infrastructure Working Group, Peter is a key member of the TDC senior management team. Kevin Bourne, Independent. After 30 years of underinvestment in our community infrastructure, I am standing to become a local councillor to change that for the better. While canvassing, too many residents have told me they have been ignored, that rules are being flouted due to lack of enforcement, and good people are not supported by their current councillors. That has to stop. People matter here, not politics, so with no political agenda or party allegiances to stick to, if elected, myself and the other independent candidates can actually act for their residents, making sure their views are heard, listened to and acted upon. In other words, doing what you've been elected to do, that would make a pleasant change. Fern Warwick Cheng, Labour. Fern and her husband were delighted to move to the area 4 years ago to start a family. A lifetime animal lover, she used to volunteer at Wildlife Aid, caring for rescued fox and badger cubs amongst other things. Fern recently left her job working for a local charity to take care of her 2 toddlers. She is passionate about working with the community to ensure the area is a safe and inspiring place to live for all. Judy Wilkinson, Liberal Democrat. No biography supplied. Voting taking place at Oxted Community Hall, Church Lane, Oxted in a previous election. Image, Surrey Mirror, David Berman, Dormansland and Felcourt. Tony Hardesty, Liberal Democrat. No biography supplied. Ann Sear, Labour. I was born in Felcourt. I am a local teacher with a large family, several of whom live with me. I am horrified by the cuts in local schools and the other ways in which the Tory austerity is hurting hard-working people and their families. Low wages, insecure jobs, unaffordable housing, together with constantly rising shopping bills and the cuts to NHS services, are impacting on my family and all people in our area. I am standing so that I can stand up for local people on these issues. Nicholas White, Independent. As a parishioner of Dormansland, I am very concerned about the way in which Tandridge District Council is operating and not listening to the views of the electorate. They appear to be planning to destroy our beautiful greenbelt by wanting to build a garden village and additional housing throughout our villages, amounting to approximately 9,400 houses within the district. This far exceeds local requirements, and with there being no guarantee for improvements to infrastructure such as road improvements, schools, doctors' surgeries and rail services to meet these additional households, we will all suffer. Maureen Young, Conservative. I am very pleased to have been reselected for the position of Conservative District Councillor for Dormansland and Felcourt Ward. I have been a Dormansland resident for the past 31 years and a parish councillor since 2002, rising to the current position of chairman. I am fully aware of all the issues affecting the community in our village. As a result of my dedication and hard work, I was privileged to receive an award of Citizen of the Year 2011-12 from the chairman, Councillor Brian Perkins, of Tandridge District Council, for my outstanding voluntary services for the community. Godstone. Chris Farr, Independent. Having lived in Blindley Heath for 29 years, I was dismayed to see the plans for huge house building in Tandridge unfold. Not just a garden village of 4,500 or a 9,400 need, but also the addition of Approach 3 with 8,500 dwellings in 26 locations, many in the Greenbelt, and without plans to first create real infrastructure. Homes for families of existing residents are desperately needed, not the executive-style houses wanted by developers. All of this started me going again to council meetings and realizing that I could make a difference. Independent candidates will work together for sensible, sustainable and community-led answers. Tamsy Hollins, Liberal Democrats. No biography supplied. Rose Thorne, Conservative. I have lived in Blindley Heath for 23 years, and for the past 12 I have been proud to serve as the local Conservative District Councillor. During this time, I have enjoyed working hard for the residents of Godstone, Blindley Heath and South Godstone. There are various aspects of being a councillor. As many of the residents I have helped will agree, I believe I have been able to demonstrate the qualities of honesty, compassion, selflessness and an eagerness to assist others. Please support me on May 3rd. Barbara Wantling, Labour. I was born and have lived in East Surrey all of my life. I am a primary school teacher who works in a school for children with severe learning disabilities in Reigate. I want to represent local people as a councillor so as I can fight for decent education, good healthcare and affordable homes. The Tandridge District Council election count in 2016. Image, Surrey Mirror. Hairstone. Bev Connolly, Conservative. No biography supplied. Annette Evans, Liberal Democrat. Annette has lived in Hairstone Ward for more than 20 years and Caterham for even longer. Having recently retired from work, Annette has been involved in a number of local groups including sitting on the Urban Design and Heritage Group of the Neighbourhood Plan, working with others to create the Caterham Town Design Guide, and is now a member of the Parish Council's Planning Committee. Annette says, if elected, my priorities will be working to prevent overdevelopment without the necessary infrastructure, including making sure there is enough parking for any church walk development, parking enforcement, and better street cleaning. Mark Fowler. If the proposed local plan with its likely large influx of commuters will put huge extra demand on Caterham Station and associated parking, rush hour trains and timetable slots are already at saturation point. I joined UKIP because I think it represents common sense and national pride, lost after the common market became the European Union. I'll fight for these principles and for common sense solutions to local issues because voters want a councillor who responds to the residents without having to put party allegiance first. Mark Wood, Labour. Mark Wood is married to a paramedic and has lived in the Hairstone Ward for 8 years. His children go to school in Caterham. Mark is an immediate response and claims manager for Keir on the Surrey County Council contract. Concerns are austerity, potholes, street lighting, infrastructure strains, and poor town planning. Limpsfield. Martin Caxton, Liberal Democrats. Martin Caxton has lived in Limpsfield with his wife, Leslie, for more than 20 years. He is familiar with current issues, such as the threat of housing developments in the Greenbelt adjoining Limpsfield. He wants to see local health services better resourced and is concerned about the lack of affordable housing in the Oxted area. He would like to see the district council take over some responsibilities from the remote county council, such as pothole repairs. Phil Davies, Oxted and Limpsfield residents. Group 1 was delighted to be elected in 2016 for OLRG in Limpsfield and given the chance to work for residents, and for our area. I have been taken aback by the strength of support received from those of all political persuasions. I very much hope voters will feel able to support me again. My time as a councillor has absolutely confirmed to me the need for politically independent representatives who will put residents first and who will properly scrutinize all aspects of the council's work. I believe there is a great need to improve accountability, decision-making and the standard of debate. Z. Lapthorne, Conservative. No biography supplied. Alec McNally, Labour. As a crew manager in the fire brigade, I have experience of balancing limited resources without compromising delivery of services. This is something that Surrey County Council has consistently failed to do, which is why we are seeing our council tax rising while, all around us, essential amenities are withdrawn. Vote for me so I can represent hard-working local people and hold Surrey Council Conservatives to account. Tandridge District Council, Oxted, Lingfield and Crowhurst. Robin Bone, Labour. Robin is a mother of 2 who lives in Lingfield and works in health and social care. Robin is concerned about the increasing austerity dividing our communities and country and wants to work with residents to bring about change. Mark Ridge, Conservative. Mark is in his 50s, educated at Purley High School for Boys and, together with his wife, Michelle and daughter Lydia, moved to Lingfield 14 years ago. He understands the meaning of hard work and commitment, being involved in his family business which was founded in 1963. Mark served on his local Residents' Association, is a member of a major charitable organization, and is chairman of the Lingfield and Crowhurst Conservatives. His concerns include housing, traffic problems, fly tipping and the increase of local crime. If elected, he will devote his time and energy improving the well-being of both communities. Michael Sidney, Independent. No biography supplied. Dave Wilkes, Liberal Democrat. No biography supplied. Man avoids jail after being caught on CCTV breaking into Oxted shed. Oxted North and Tandridge. Che Ramsden, Labour. Che Ramsden lives in Oxted North, which is also where she grew up. As a teenager she was a founding member of Tandridge Youth Forum, aiming to give young people from the area a voice. She went on to study at Oxford University and the London School of Economics, then a career in the charity sector, where she specializes in service development and innovation. She also volunteers for a national children's charity and is deputy chair of Unite's Equalities Committee. She is currently on maternity leave with her first baby. Catherine Sayer, Oxted and Limpsfield Residents Group. My time as chairman of the Oxted. I think there is an urgent need for councillors who will place the interests of residents above those of party politics. I am keen to join OLRG's Jackie Wren, elected in 2016 for the Oxted North and Tandridge ward, as a fellow ward councillor, and together we will fight to make sure that residents are listened to and that more weight is given to the community's concerns. Craig Shepherd, Liberal Democrat. Craig lives in Old Oxted with his wife, Laura. He works as a software developer. Craig was born in East London and has lived most of his life in the southeast. He feels that local government must have democracy and fairness at its heart. Craig wants to see the development of a council-led strategy for the Oxted area, recognizing the need to maintain it as an attractive place to work and live in the face of mounting pressure on the Greenbelt and scarce land in the town. David Whiteman, Conservative. David Whiteman is a chartered building surveyor. He is married to Karen and has 2 adult daughters and 2 grandchildren. David has lived in Oxted since 1965, so knows your local concerns. At the council, he is currently chairman of the Housing Committee and sits on the Busy Planning Committee, where he has fought long battles over the years to protect the Greenbelt and character of our towns and villages. David is actively involved in the start of repairs of 2 ancient Grade 1 listed churches, St. Mary the Virgin, Oxted, and St. Peter, Tandridge, together with projects aimed at bringing them both more into community use. Any spare time that David has from serving the community, he looks after his allotment, which provides vegetables almost all of the year round. Residents will be going to the polls on Thursday. Image, PA, Oxted South. Julie Bird, Conservative. No biography supplied. Lynn Mills, Oxted and Limpsfield residents group. My family and I have lived in Hurst Green for many years. My 3 children attended our local schools and we all work in the local area. I think there is currently a lack of consideration for residents' views by the council, and I would like the chance to work to change that culture alongside fellow OLRG councillors. I strongly believe that independent residents' association councillors, who are not told what to do by a political party, are the only way to ensure that the people of Oxted South are properly represented and that the community comes first. Jonathan Salisbury, Liberal Democrat. Jonathan Salisbury has lived in Hurst Green for more than 20 years. His children have been educated at Oxted School. He works in London for a software supplier to the commodities and energy trading sectors. As a local councillor, Jonathan would work to overcome the challenge facing South Oxted, surrounded on 3 sides by Greenbelt but needing to improve amenities and infrastructure while safeguarding the character and relative tranquility it enjoys today. Catherine Saunders, Labour. Catherine Saunders works locally as a breastfeeding councillor. She has recently been appointed an Associate Governor of Hurst Green Infant School and attends St. John's Church. Catherine was elected as a parish councillor in 2015 and serves on the planning committee. Ashdeed Cafe reassures customers after shocking attack. Queen's Park. Graham Bailey, UKIP. The excessive housing, demanded by government and being pushed through in the local plan, is the main issue facing Queen's Park, with Greenbelt land on the borders with Chaldon potentially under threat and the associated strain on infrastructure and services. We need affordable housing for local people, not more executive homes. If elected, I will ensure that the Caterham Master Plan really improves the environment and facilities for Caterham Hill residents and that they are fully consulted. I will fight building on Greenbelt and keep nagging Surrey County Council about those potholes outside Caterham. Dean John Orrick, Liberal Democrat. No biography supplied. Eddington, Pindora, Labour. I lived in Caterham for more than 10 years and I am appalled at the lack of services provided by Tandridge Council, whether they be housing, community care, or for young people. As communications officer working for an organization that represents the minority ethnics, I am aware that the problems facing people in Tandridge are not being addressed. Rod Stead, Conservative. On May 3rd, I hope to be re-elected as District Councillor for Queen's Park Ward to continue the work I have been doing in Tandridge Council. I am proud to have defended the green spaces in Queen's Park from development. The Garden Village concept will seek to meet the bulk of any new affordable house building required by central government. This development would have a new infrastructure of schools, medical facilities and improved communication links. The most important issue is to maintain planning control in the hands of Tandridge, so we control the planning process and not developers. Tandridge Council is well run and financially sound, with a balanced budget and no inroads into frontline services. I am chairman of the Treasury Investment Subcommittee and the additional interest earned on our reserves has contributed more than £500,000 to the budget. The recently introduced Caterham Master Plan has provided a vision of how we want to regenerate the centres of the Caterham Hill and Valley. The plan includes an attractive new urban environment with more entertainment, including a cinema complex, and better shops, without damaging the existing areas that we value. This will be funded primarily by private investors. Worlingham East, Chelsham and Farley. Nathan Adams, Conservative. Nathan has lived in Worlingham since 2010. He is passionate about the village and believes that the green is the heart of Worlingham. He wants to protect the green belt and will challenge any threat of building except in the most exceptional of circumstances and where it would be for the benefit of the community. He believes that we need affordable homes for our local residents, not additional retirement homes. To keep Worlingham alive, he encourages the building of new council homes like the ones in Meadway. Nathan is also a parish councillor and is involved in the Mintwalk Playground Security Project, to provide CCTV to monitor the area. Nathan is a man of action and likes to get the job done. He has served in the British Army, and is now a paramedic manager for the London Ambulance Service. He was awarded the Lord Lieutenant Award in October 2017 for meritorious service in the Reserve Forces. Martin Haley, UKIP. The biggest threat to Tandridge at present is the desire of the current councillors to build a huge garden village, which is not going to benefit local people. This instead can be put down to uncontrolled immigration into the UK, which no one in Westminster seems to want to halt. If elected, I would fight for brownfield sites to be developed first. It looks as though many councillors' mentality is almost one that dismisses the green belt as being of any importance. I would make sure that they do not push through such draconian policies. Simon Morrow, Liberal Democrat. Simon Morrow has represented Warlingham East, Chelsham and Farley for 24 years on Tandridge Council. He is chairman of Warlingham Parish Council and Warlingham Library Management Committee, a member of Warlingham Sports Club Committee and treasurer of All Saints Church. Simon has worked hard to stop planning applications that would be damaging to local character and to preserve and improve local services such as Warlingham Library, the Bond Road Dump and the bus service to Caterham. His top priorities are protecting Warlingham's environment and character against inappropriate development, support for local businesses and suitable development of vacant sites like Manor Park Garage, building affordable homes, maintaining services against threatened Tory cuts. Michael Snowden, Labour. Michael works as an auditor with the charity and has lived in Warlingham for more than 15 years. He wants to push for truly affordable housing for local families. I'm angry at how unaffordable it's become for ordinary people to even rent a home, let alone buy one. I'm standing as a candidate to send the message to Tandridge Council that we, the ordinary citizens of Warlingham, want them to prioritise the building of truly affordable, good quality housing, homes for local people. People like myself who didn't have a bank of mum. So much of what local authorities can do depends on central government funding and regulations. It's time to send a message to Theresa May that we've had enough of the Tories' austerity that only affects those who didn't cause the economic woes we face. I'm standing to allow those who want to send that message to this government via a vote for a party you can actually believe in, rather than a tactical vote for the Liberal Democrats, the discredited former coalition partners. I currently commute to West London and daily witness the overcrowded buses and poor services offered by Southern and South West trains that many Warlingham citizens have to endure. Warlingham West. Robin Bloor, Conservative. Robin has lived in Warlingham for 34 years, and is married to Denise with 2 grown-up children. He worked in the retail sector and the electricity supply industry for 42 years before retiring 9 years ago. Robin is very active in the local Warlingham community as chairman of the Warlingham Scouts for the past 15 years, chairman of the much-enjoyed Warlingham Christmas Lights event over the past 12 years and is a founder member of the Warlingham Remembrance Day Committee. Robin is an elected member of Warlingham Parish Council and has taken the lead in many projects including the restoration of the War Memorial and the formation of the Mint Walk Security Group. He takes a keen interest in local planning issues. Robin is the recipient of a Surrey County Council Volunteer Service Award for making outstanding contributions to the local community. Celia Colquitt, Liberal Democrat. Celia Colquitt has lived in Warlingham since 1990. She worked in the pharmaceutical industry and is a civil servant on investing in university research, and is now Vice Provost, Enterprise, at University College London. Celia greatly values the character of the area and believes it is vital this is maintained, in particular that new housing preserves the nature of the Warlingham area. Councils have been under extreme financial pressure recently, with serious implications for services, and Celia believes councillors have an important role in supporting thoughtful approaches to management that deliver value and benefit to residents. Also, that councillors should support local businesses, something she is professionally involved in, and would like to contribute to if elected. Christopher Dean, UKIP. The most important issues facing Warlingham are 1. Safeguarding open spaces, protecting the green belt from unwanted development resulting from inward migration from outside Tandridge. 2. More visible policing to combat rising crime, reinstatement of all-night street lighting. 3. Potholes, a danger to road users and causing unnecessary damage to vehicles. If elected, I will listen to and act upon the concerns of residents, taking an independent line, free from a party whip. I will scrutinize council finances to ensure taxpayers get the best value for money, and oppose any housing development which is not for local people. Patrick Rogers, Labour. My name is Patrick "Pat" Rogers. I was born in 1960 and raised in the East End of London. My wife and I have lived in Warlingham since 2013. I work in the retail sector, based in Croydon, but previously I spent more than 20 years working in the recruitment and staffing sector. I am not a politician, but I do believe that local people have a right to be heard and to voice an opinion about decisions that will materially affect them and the lives of their families. Unfortunately, I feel that our voices are ignored and that many of our local councillors feel that, once elected, they have carte blanche to do as they deem fit without regard to how local people feel. I want to change that. Polling station opposite Hillcroft Primary School in the Public Library, Caterham, Surrey, England. Image, Alec Kingham, Westway Joe Bronco, UKIP with the threat of a garden village on the Surrey Hills near Chaldon removed and pushed down to Greenbelt floodplain in the south of the district. The adopted local plan strategy for building a huge estate on Greenbelt may not seem like the main issue in Westway, but it will still have a negative impact. If elected, I will fight to protect Greenbelt and green spaces, while providing homes for local people, not a huge influx, further straining our infrastructure. I'll put residents first, tackle litter and ensure much-needed flood remediation is carried out. George Dennis, Liberal Democrat. I have lived in Caterham Hill for many years. I am a parish councillor, a member of the Flood Action Group and one of the authors of our new neighbourhood plan. My background is in conservation, heritage and environmental protection. Not long ago the council proposed building on our allotments, public parks and a children's playground. I want us to push back against overdevelopment, parking congestion and the threats to community green spaces, secure flood protection so that homes and lives are not ruined, and fight against pointless cuts to frontline services. We need a fair deal for Caterham. Lucy McNally, Labour. Since moving to Caterham Hill 5 years ago, I have actively campaigned to represent my neighbours and stand up for fair delivery of services in return for our ever-increasing council tax. As deputy head of a sixth form suffering Tory cuts, and married to a firefighter, I would relish the opportunity to hold our Tory council to account and challenge their reckless handling of our precious local amenities. Please get out and vote for Labour on the 3rd of May to remind the Tories and Lib Dems that Westway Ward is certainly not the two-horse race that they like to think it is. Vote Lucy, vote Labour. Aithna Webster, Conservative. Aithna Webster is standing again in Westway Ward, Caterham on the Hill. She says it is an extraordinary privilege to represent the local community and hopes to be able to continue doing so. She is described as hardworking, effective and sympathetic. As a flood victim wrote, she listened to myself and neighbors and visited frequently. She has kept in contact with me throughout the whole dreadful experience and helped where she could, willing to speak out on my behalf. She has shown me that she is willing and able to support the local community and the people she represents. Whiteleaf. Sakina Bradbury, Conservative. No biography supplied. Grayson Clark, UKIP. The biggest issue facing Whiteleaf, as part of Tandridge, is the implication of the flawed local plan for traffic congestion on the A22, increased congestion on our commuter trains and loss of our green belt. If elected, I will work to ensure residents are kept informed and involved in decision-making regarding matters that affect Whiteleaf. I will work to deliver a sustainable local plan, which protects the Greenbelt while delivering the housing needed for local people and protecting existing infrastructure from overloading. I will put residents first. I do not have to toe a party line. Jeffrey Gray, Liberal Democrat. Jeffrey was previously the district councillor for Whiteleaf, having stepped down in 2010 when he moved to Kent. As his work commitments as a professional musician changed, he grabbed the opportunity to move back to the area last year. He wants to address 3 key issues affecting Whiteleaf: parking provision and better enforcement of parking regulations, planning and development, particularly the need to enhance infrastructure to support development, and street cleaning and the need to keep refuse and recycling centres open. Jeffrey says, it's wrong that Conservatives have increased spending by £90,000 on PR and publicity when these services have been cut. Fatima Kamara, Labour. Fatima is the only candidate living in Whiteleaf, where she serves as a parish councillor and has been very actively involved in local issues such as the County Route 3 planning permissions, parking and housing issues, supporting the elderly and vulnerable residents. Fatima is a mother, entrepreneur and a health and social care consultant who's worked for the public sector in various settings for nearly 20 years. Her professional career started as a registered